One of the things we do most often in practice or before games or whatever is warm up our arms. We typically send a number of our players or all of the players down the right field line or the left field line and say, go get your arms loosened up, go get warmed up. The problem is that's about what happens. They go get their arms warmed up. In the meantime, a lot of them get their jaws warmed up, and they improve social skills about as much or maybe even more than they do their throwing skills. Let's change the terminology a little bit. Let's go down the right field line, the left field line, or wherever we send them and practice throwing. You know, we throw a lot at practice, but we practice throwing very little. We warm up arms, we warm up jaws. We've got to improve throwing so we win more of those ball games that we're in. We're going to watch a typical warm-up in the pre-game or pre-practice, and again, it should be throwing practice, not warm-up, so let's change that terminology, remember, and let's watch a lot of the things that they do. When they're throwing in this pre-game or pre-practice practice, they need to be working at the types of throws they have to make in games. They should back up farther and farther, particularly if they're outfielders or if they're an infielder who has to make long throws. This will also increase their arm strength, and they'll get the ability to throw a ball with more velocity. But a lot of times they just throw from 40 or 50 or 60 feet away, and they never get that pressure on their arm to build up increased arm strength. So first of all, after the arm is warmed up some, back up, increase distances, and throw longer distances. Also throw more. It's amazing if you have players throw for more than about 10 minutes or so, how many of them arms are bothering them. We need to increase the length of time that players throw and the length in distance that players throw, and we build up arm strength and arm endurance. Make the type throws that you're going to be making in games. Throwing practice should be reality-based training. It should be game-like. If you're going to throw from different arm slots, different arm angles, different degrees of body control, standing, kneeling, sitting, falling, running, these throws have to be practiced, and not just in games. If you want to make these types of throws consistently and effectively in games, you have to practice them during practice, and what better time than during that time before practice or before a game when you're also warming up your arm. Once it's warmed up, make it game-like. Outfielders, again, increase distances, crow hops, those types of things. Catchers can even be receiving some of the throws from their partners by squatting into a catcher's position and working on receiving that ball and then coming up and throwing like a stolen base. Now, we'll also see a lot of laziness in this pregame or pre-practice throwing practice. They'll just reach to catch a ball. That's laziness. Get the body ready to throw before you catch it. So move to catch the ball. Get around the ball so you're ready to throw it when you catch it instead of just reaching to catch the ball. The other thing is catch the ball with two hands when you can. If we're working on throwing, we want to catch to throw, not catch and throw. And most people would think it's much better if you can catch with two hands when you're going to have to throw again right after the catch. So work on catching with two hands. Even stop maybe and do the drill where you're using the back of the glove to catch the ball. Catch it on the back of the glove for a few times. You can't let it stay there very long. It forces you to use two hands. And then alternate. Catch it on the back of the glove, catch it in the glove. And try to get it out of the glove as quick as you got it off of the glove. Work on quickness. Remember when we talked about that equation that gets people out, the AB plus B plus BC, B is the one that takes so long. So work on the ball not staying with the fielder very long. Using the back of the glove to catch some throws and then alternating back of the glove with inside of the glove can help with that. Also, a lot of times we see people when they miss a ball in throwing practice and it drops right close to them, they'll just reach over and pick it up with their glove. Can't throw it with the glove, not very often. On a rare occasion, it's best to throw with a glove, but most of the time you're going to throw it with your hand. So you want to pick the ball up barehanded. Get over the ball, get positioned so you're ready to throw on the side of the ball that allows you to do that more quickly. Pick the ball up from the top by pushing it down to the ground, pick it straight up, move your feet, and throw. Happens all the time in a game that a ball is bobbled, knocked down, rolls a short distance away, and you've got to pick it up and throw it. What better time to practice it than right before the game or right before practice when you're doing your throwing practice, and that occurs. Recover the ball calmly but quickly, pick it up barehanded, and do not put it back in your glove. You'll see players tap their glove with it even after they pick it up barehanded. That's a wasted motion. The clock is ticking, the race is on, and the batter runner or runner is getting an advantage when you do that. So pick it up barehanded. Great time to practice that. Also, a lot of times the ball goes a little bit farther away from you, and the player in practice just kind of shuts down and they walk after the ball. Errors are part of defense. They're a part of the game. We've got to learn how to minimize the damage from errors. So if a ball is thrown bad by your partner, or you miss a ball and it rolls 8, 10, 12, 15 feet away, hustle after it. That's game-like. That's reality-based, and it just happened. And it gave you a great opportunity to practice. So hustle after that ball and get that ball. Scramble, make a throw, because in a game, usually that's a hurried situation. You got to hustle after that ball. Somebody's trying to get an extra base, or you're trying to prevent them from getting that extra base. So practice that in your pre-practice or pre-game throwing. So there are a lot of things going on in practice when you go down to just warm up your arm or loosen up. Make that throwing practice and practice all of these things that we've talked about.